Good morning and welcome to the Community Development Committee of Cuyahoga County. It's Monday, February 14th, and we are starting our meeting at approximately 10:05 a.m. Madam Clerk, would you call the roll, please?
As a reminder to all in attendance, this meeting is being recorded and live streamed on the county YouTube page. Calling the roll, Ms. Stevens.
Present.
Mr. Jones.
Here.
Ms. Simon. Ms. Simon is absent at the moment. Mr. Gallagher. Mr. Gallagher is absent at the moment. Ms. Baker. Here. We have a quorum. Also, I'd like the record to reflect that council members Strawn and Tuma are also in attendance. Excuse me, Madam Chair, your microphone.
Mr. Council President, is there an order of business? I'd like to allow my colleagues, Mr. Strawn and Mr. Tuma, to vote on this issue this morning.
Yes, we'd like to appoint those, both Tuma and Sharon to this committee for this morning's activities.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Ms. Baker, would you make a motion, please?
Excuse me, Ms. Baker, your microphone.
I make a motion to accept the two members as stated.
Second?
Say aye.
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 Board.
Thank you.
For the day.
Appreciate that.
Madam Clerk, is there any public comment?
Yes, Madam Chair, we have 3 individuals signed in. The first person is the Honorable Tim DeGeeter.
Do we want to approve our minutes before Mr. DeGeeter speaks? I'd like to approve our minutes before Mr. DeGeeter speaks. Hold on just a minute, Mr. Mayor.
I make a motion to accept the minutes.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No, with no opposition, the minutes from November 29th, 2021 are approved. Mayor DeGeeter, would you please approach the podium?
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman and Council President Jones, as well as the rest of the committee. Good morning. We're excited to be here on Resolution 2022-0027. I believe the committee has before you a packet of information that the city has put together with an outline of our presentation, our testimony on this item. First, I'd like to introduce who's with us today is first our elected law director, Tim Dobek, who will be speaking, our recreation director, Mickey Vitardi, as well as Ridgewood Golf Course manager / pro, Dave Chuba. First, I'd like to recognize and thank our hardworking county councilman, Scott Tuma, for his invaluable service on this community project. Our city motto in Parma is progress through partnerships, and I can tell you that the county is one of our most valued partners. It takes partnerships to get things done here, whether it's roads, infrastructure, green space, and today here on this project. And I also want to acknowledge the County Land Bank for the role they may have in this project should it move forward and be approved by this body. I also want to point out that today's resolution is just part one of a multi-project. Also, if we're successful at this first step, more than willing, we'll hopefully come back and see you again to seek additional funds on this project. It is an economic development project. So as I move forward, let me give you a brief history of Ridgewood Golf Course. It had opened July 4th, 1925. It's unique as it's situated in the middle of our city, Ohio's 7th largest city. And it draws golfers from all over the region. The county judges has had their golf outing at our course. So it's not just a Parma thing. The course has an ideal layout for both the average golfer and scratch golfers. Its history included hosting a professional event in 1929, where Bobby Jones was the runner-up. Notable golfers include Walter Hagen, Byron Nelson, and even Arnold Palmer has played our course. Despite the anchor holding us back of the condition of our clubhouse, the course has made a profit the last 3 years. 2019, we were $36,000. In 2020, $180,000. And then just last year, $126,000. And that's with a $0 marketing budget that we have. So it's due to the hard work of our employees, our club manager, all the way down. The clubhouse conditions. For decades, we have lived on borrowed time. Now is the time to do something moving forward. Hence, that's why we're here seeking county assistance and land bank assistance to demo. In our packet, you'll see a report, an engineer structural condition assessment by structure point. Those pictures paint 1,000 words. Rehabbing and modernizing the building would be significant and expensive. For a number of years, we have not sought to expend significant amount on our clubhouse, as the goal has always been to build a new building. In fact, 3 years ago, we had to replace a boiler. The company would not guarantee it on it based on the piping system within the clubhouse. So again, now is the time. Additionally, there's an asbestos report that's also contained in your packet. Not surprising, there was asbestos in the building, and if demo's approved, it would be a better, safer, less hazardous to our environment. Again, on regional partnerships, neighboring communities, Parma Heights and Seven Hills mayors are supportive of our project. In fact, back in 2012, 2013, the cities of Parma and Seven Hills entered into a partnership. Seven Hills has a rec center, Parma doesn't. We have a golf course, they don't. We have outdoor pools, they don't. We have an ice rink. So Parma residents can join the Seven Hills Rec Center at a Parma rate, better than a non-resident rate, and vice versa with our assets. So it's something that's worked well together, it's mutual beneficial, and we see the same thing here with this project as we move forward to not just a clubhouse, but to an activities event center. Now, I'd like to turn over our presentation next to Rec Director Mickey Vittardi to discuss the future of Ridgewood Golf Course. Thank you, committee.
Thanks, Mayor. And even though Councilman Tuma told me to keep it to 20 minutes, I'll try and do it within just a few minutes. Thank you, members of council and the committee. Thank you for allowing us to be here today. And I just wanted to, all kidding aside, be brief and make a brief statement if I could. Ridgewood Golf Course Clubhouse will be referred to as Ridgewood Golf Course and Event Center. The event center, once constructed, will benefit residents and non-residents throughout the area, as well as benefit the region from hosting small gatherings to larger events. Ridgewood Golf Course is host to approximately 42,000 rounds of golf for the year 2021. We're also very proud to be the home golf course for the 3 public high schools, as well as the 2 parochial high schools in our school district. Ridgewood is host to a very successful junior golf program, thanks to the administering of it by our golf pro, Dave Chuba, with participants from our bordering communities, as well as residents of North Olmsted, Independence, Strongsville, along with many other cities in Cuyahoga County. Golf outings, as Mayor DeGeeter mentioned, are held at Ridgewood throughout the months of May, June, July, August, September, and even October, bringing in golfers and supporters of various organizations. Finalizing, again, thank you for allowing us to be here today, and thank you all very much for your time and your anticipated assistance in making this project a valuable asset to our entire region. Thank you.
Mr. DeGeeter, is your law director next?
Thank you, Madam Chairman. My name is Tim Dobeck. My address is 73
76 Ridge Road, Parma, Ohio 44129. And first, let me thank the committee for the time for permitting us to address you this morning. I'd also like to thank our County Councilman Scott Tuma for the work he and his staff have put in meeting with the various groups. Although I'm the law director and I'll be working with our administration as we move forward with the project, I'm asked to speak today regarding a citizens committee that, again, through the leadership of our administration, was put together last summer. As the administration was working on the nuts and bolts of the golf course clubhouse, we were asked to put together a citizens committee of business leaders, golfers, non-golfers, and I will say I represent the non-golfers, as well as leagues and people who use the clubhouse. And it was through that committee that we split into three separate subcommittees: a facilities committee, a operations committee, and a finance committee. And it was Mr. Tuma and Mr. Nani that addressed our finance committee during the summer. The finance committee and the other members had tours of this clubhouse to see that there was no salvaging this building. And so there was a discussion with Mr. Tuma where there was an opportunity potentially for some funds to have the building raised. That's what we're here for you today, for your positive consideration. It was unanimous amongst the committee that the building needed to go down, and it was then that Mr. Tuma kicked in and was able to discuss the possibility of funding to do that. Our next step, and what we're in the process of doing right now, is preparing an RFQ for an architect that can design the building for us, which will entail speaking with the stakeholders. That would be city officials, golfers, non-golfers, regional partners, including Parma Heights and Seven Hills, and we expect to do that within the next month. So again, thank you very much for your consideration for permitting us to address you this morning. Thank you.
Excuse me, Madam Chair, your microphone.
Was there anything else, Mr. Mayor, that you wanted to get on the record? Thank you, Mayor. At this time, who's speaking on behalf of? Did we have anyone else who needed public comment?
No, Madam Chair, no one else is signed in.
Okay, on this piece of legislation, we have the fire chief. If I'm reading the uniform correctly, my eyes are bad. Sir, if you would come up to the podium and give us your name and the address of City Hall.
Excuse me, Madam Chair, would you like me to read the resolution into the record?
I'm going to wait until after we have all the testimony and then read the resolution.
Okay,
in
thank
the
you.
record.
All right, well, I want to thank the council for allowing me to speak this morning and for all your hard work, and especially Jack Schron for helping us out with this project. My name is Frank Zugan. I'm the fire chief of the Sugar Falls Fire Department. I reside at 35010 Solon Road, Solon, Ohio, 44139. Before I continue on, happy Valentine's Day, everybody. It's a good day. I'll give you a little bit of history of the department. We were formed back in 1897. In 1934, the Sugar Falls Fire Department became a nonprofit corporation, a 501c4. We are a regional department providing fire and EMS services via contract from one central fire station in Sugar Falls to 6 communities, which include Bentleyville, Sugar Falls Township, Moreland Hills, Hunting Valley, and South Russell. And we serve just shy of about 15,000 people in that region. And I can really say without a doubt, we continue and have been a role model for regionalization in our area, even before that word became a buzzword down here at the county. 1897 is when we started that. This project that we're trying to complete, we're in the final stages of raising money, necessary funds to improve the fire station. Some of these improvements include providing our female firefighters with private living quarters, i.e. dorm space, bathrooms, locker rooms, etc., and also reconfigure our floor plan to allow the firefighters' ability to respond in a timely and efficient manner out of the station, which will directly affect our response times to the communities that I mentioned before. Back when we started this project 3.5 years ago, we decided the fundraising route to go private to get this project done. And we felt as a department that the residents and the businesses we serve should have the opportunity to donate and have a little stake in the game per se. We started this project, like I said, about 3.5 years ago. So far, we've had over 1,300 residents and businesses donate to the project. And also, under the leadership of Moreland Hills Mayor Dan Fritz, who couldn't be here today, and Sugar Falls Village Council President Aaron Grube, who's with me today, they were able to get all 6 communities to pass legislation to support our project and donate to it. So that was wonderful, and I think you have that legislation in front of you today. And now, hopefully, with the generosity of the Cuyahoga County Council providing funding, they'll put the cap on what we need, and we can move this project forward. Our timeline is the bidding process should start sometime early summer, and we hope to break ground with the current construction climate sometime in the fall. So again, thank you very much for your time and attention. And how does this question and answer period, or
Excuse me, Madam Chair, your microphone.
no?
We'll ask for questions from you, but first, is there a presentation by the representative of council from Chagrin Falls?
Yeah, I'd love to have Aaron say a few words.
Council President, Council
President Aaron Grube. Thank you guys so much for hearing us out today. I appreciate Jack Schron for bringing this to you. I'm here to ask you for your support for the Chagrin Valley Fire Department. Chagrin Valley Fire is a model of what regionalization means, and it has been so for more than 100 years. We're 6 communities. We work together every day to provide our residents with professional first responders, and now they're in need of crucially modest updates to their facility. It's very interesting to sort of be here in 2022 telling you that we need female living space in our fire department, but that's the situation we're in. We simply don't have it. These are very modest upgrades, and they will continue to allow our communities to have high-quality first responders and make it a good place to work. This project, 70% funded. After a conversation with Chief Zugan last year, I reached out to Mayor Fritz in Moreland Hills. We put together a plan. How do you equitably get 6 communities to agree to put money towards a project located in one community and make sure it all goes forward? We have really good private funding. We now have municipal funding, and this county funding puts us over the edge. We had hoped our municipal funding would get us there, but with increased construction costs, that's not the dream I live on today. So we really need the county. We need the county to support us in this, and I feel that we've seen a long-term fiscal responsibility from this fire department to ensure high-quality services at high-value dollars. So thank you so much for considering this, and I would really appreciate your support for our fire department.
At this time, are there any?
Yes, I would, Madam Chairman. The one aspect of this seems to me that was most compelling when I heard the story was that this will be the first time you actually have dedicated space for our female team members. Is that correct? Somebody has to, in which they're going to have their own private space, I believe. Unfortunately, the record doesn't pick up a nod of a head, so you're. And if you can.
Correct.
And then you can maybe talk about that, what it's going to look like, and what the big change that this is going to make. And I think probably the county money is almost speaks for that. Just that piece alone is what would come out to as far as the budget, as I recall.
Yes, that is correct. So we will have private dorm rooms, private baths, private locker rooms. And again, the county portion of this funding will, again, put us right to what we need. And it could be earmarked for all of that. But based on the square foot of our project, total square foot is about 1,768 square feet. Out of that, about 480 square feet would be dedicated to the female firefighters.
Great.
So,
Thank you very much. And the number of females on your team are growing, as I understand?
correct. We currently have 3 female firefighters on our department. We've had as many as 6. We're interviewing 2 next week, actually.
Wow.
So
Great.
this
Thank
is
you
a
very
good
much.
thing for them to hear about.
Thank you.
Yep.
It'll help you recruit.
If there are no other questions to my colleague, Councilwoman Baker.
Thank you. To the Chagrin Falls, the contribution of the 575, your share would be 350. Are you asking for 350,000 today?
No,
That's negative.
Okay.
400,000?
400,000? Okay.
that's correct.
And
The
if I may.
the amended legislation
Okay.
shows it in red on the second
Oh, I do
page.
see that now. Thank you. Got it.
Okay.
Just a couple questions
All right.
for 400,000. What is the total project cost?
About 1.5 million.
And I heard mentioned 70% of that is from the other 6 communities.
Yeah, we have about 1.1 million collected and pledged. So the 400,000 from the county that's it.
And beyond the updates to accommodate your female population, what else are you doing for the 1.5 million?
So we're putting on a 1,700, about 1,800 square foot addition. Another huge part of this is, like I stated, is to enable us to efficiently get out of the building down to the apparatus. So we're going to have a different stairwell. Right now, we have to snake through the station. Again, you have to realize how old this station was. It was built for volunteer fire department.
Yeah.
We're landlocked. So one of the things that we are going to do is give us access off that second floor right to the apparatus. We'll shave maybe 30 to 40 seconds off of our response time, which is huge in my business.
Given the age of the building, is it better to remodel or like the prior, tear it down?
Yeah, so there is going to be some tear down and rebuild, but the current station where it is, we're kind of landlocked in this little area. To move the station would be astronomically expensive. I know $1.5 million is, not a drop in a bucket, but you're talking $4 to $5 million to build a brand new station somewhere.
Thank you, I appreciate the
You're welcome.
the answers.
Thank you. To Madam Clerk, I'd like to recognize that my colleague, Councilwoman Sunny Simon, is in attendance. I forgot to ask if there were any questions from the delegation from Parma. Mr. Tuma?
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. I just wanted to say, speak to the importance of this project. This is, as the mayor indicated, this is phase 1 of a multi-phase project. And the first step in this of demolishing the clubhouse is vital to the continued economic development in Parma and surrounding communities in District 4. This, you saw the age of this clubhouse and the condition it's in, particularly in the new era after the pandemic, with respect to the new requirements with respect to social distancing and environmental protection, clean water, removing of the hazardous conditions inside that clubhouse. It's just really vital to get this clubhouse down and allow the administration in the city to proceed with its economic development plan there, which I fully support. I also spoke with the administration in the county here who supports it, including Council President, who expressed support for the project moving forward. And I suspect that my colleagues will be back. One of the nice things about this partnership is the land bank is involved, and they're really good at what they do. The continued partnership is exactly what I think these funds in this community development fund are designed to enable. So I appreciate my colleagues' support on this moving forward. Thank you.
Madam Clerk, if you would read the resolution into the record, please.
Can I ask a question?
I'm sorry.
And I'm sure this has been answered, Madam Chair, to, I think, Councilman Tuma. Have you looked at demolition funding as part of this? I'm sure this was discussed, but just so I know.
Yes, and the county land bank is involved in the process, and they're actually going to do the demolishing of the building. And they're, I think it's 50,000. I think it's coming out of the land bank
Land
fund.
bank, yeah,
directly.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you for asking.
If I may, Chair, ask a question on this?
Yes.
Thank you. So I'm reading here through some of the documents that the 225,000 is being toward this project. Does that completely take care of all the asbestos? Is that a total price for demolish, asbestos removal, all that's needed for that phase?
Who am I recognizing? Oh, Trevor. These
Sorry, without the
masks.
mask. With the mask, I don't recognize you.
Trevor Meckler, County Council staff. Madam Chair, I think some of this was going to be part of our discussion.
Presentation in 2 minutes.
Kim and I were going to
yeah.
present, so if we can maybe hold off and then answer those questions, because I think we're going to hit a lot of the questions that are being asked.
Once we read the resolution, then I was going to ask them to come forward.
Resolution 2022-0027, awarding a total sum not to exceed $575,000 from the Cuyahoga County Community Development Fund to fund projects in the city of Parma and the village of Chagrin Falls.
At this time, staff will come forward and give us an explanation of their recommendations to council.
Good morning, Madam Chairwoman, County Council members, Trevor Meckler, County Council staff, and Jim Boyle, County Council staff. I was going to provide some brief history on the Community Development Fund, and Jim was going to provide some detail on the 2 projects, some of it which was already presented, but I might give council members a greater background of the legislation in front of you. Madam Chairwoman, we do have a proposed substitute that includes some technical changes, as well as instead of 1 and 2, section 1 and 2, we broke it up to A and B. This is a more familiar format that council is familiar with. So if we could perhaps entertain that proposed substitute first before we get into the merits of the legislation.
There's a proposal for an amendment. Is that the correct word?
Proposed substitute.
Proposed substitute to Resolution 2022-2027.
So we present the proposed substitute?
Yes. Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
Simon.
Brief discussion on this proposed amendment. It clearly outlines the dollar amount for the to be used by the Cuyahoga Land Realization Corporation doing business as the County Land Bank, and it proposes the amount not to exceed for the village of Chagrin Falls, since they are the lead agency in taking care of the changes at the Chagrin Falls Fire Department.
The only addition to that, Madam Chairwoman, is the legislation, and this is similar language that we have in nearly every piece of legislation council sees. I apologize for it not being included in the original. It authorizes council staff and county administration to execute all documents according to the awarded. It somehow got mixed out of the original legislation. I apologize for that.
Excuse me, Madam Chair, we received the first and the second on the proposed substitute. We need an overall vote.
Yes. So is there any other discussion? All right. Is there a motion?
We have it.
We have a motion, a first and a second. We just need the all in favor vote.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. With no nays, we are moving forward with this change.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. So before you today is a resolution that authorizes 2 awards out of the county's Community Development Fund. In terms of a refresher for the council members, the county's Community Development Fund is fully funded from the casino revenue tax that we receive on a quarterly basis. If you recall, the Ohio Constitution, the amendment to the Ohio Constitution was approved, and counties and host cities that host the casinos receive direct distributions through the state of Ohio on a quarterly basis. To date, the county receives approximately $8 million per year from this source. It's ranged anywhere between $7.5 to $8 million since 2013. If you recall, back in 2016, the council did agree to provide half of the casino tax revenue to the administration's Economic Development Fund. So every year, council authorizes an appropriation transfer of approximately $4 million per year to the county's Economic Development Fund, which is controlled through the Department of Development, and the remaining balance of $4 million every year stays in the Community Development Fund, which in essence is kind of council's economic development fund, but must be focused on more community development instead of economic development. We have provided some dollars to economic development projects in addition to what the administration has done from their ED fund, but mainly the Community Development Fund is for economic development, is for community development purposes. Out of the $4 million on an annual basis, $1.5 million from the Community Development Fund is reserved for the Community Developmental Supplemental Grant Program, which all the cities that you're familiar with applies for that on an annual basis, and that's through legislation that council set aside $1.5 million. And then it ranges over the next 2 years prior to this and the following 2 years. Council also approved legislation that sets aside a range of $1 million to $2.5 million per year for the housing program. And that expires 2 years from now. So those are at least the two big commitments every year that set aside a big portion of the revenue that stays in the Community Development Fund. Since 2013, since the fund was created, council has authorized over $70 million in awards, grants, and loans from this Community Development Fund. That includes the dollar amount of being transferred to the administration's Economic Development Fund. The current balance is approximately $5.8 million in the Community Development Fund before this legislation is approved, if approved by council. However, there is about $1.6 million of encumbrances on that balance. So the total available balance right now is $4.2 million from the Community Development Fund. If this were to get a move forward, then that would be deducted from the balance. Today's legislation authorizes an award to the county's land bank in the amount of $175,000 for the demolition of the Ridgewood Golf Course Clubhouse in Parma, and then an award to the village of Chagrin Falls in the amount of $400,000 for the improvements and upgrades to their fire station. Both awards have multiple funding sources and are a collaboration with multiple jurisdictions, just like prior awards from the Community Development Fund. Regarding the City of Parma, the $175,000 from the Community Development Fund equates to approximately 75% of the Phase 1 project. The remaining portion to fully fund the project is coming from the county land bank for demo dollars. So for total project cost is $225,000. Parma will be responsible to put on temporary trailers and stuff on the property to run the golf course during the golfing season come up. So they are providing the dollars, but they're responsible on that end. So the county's portion is about 75% of just Phase 1 of the project to demo the building. Related to the Village of Chagrin Falls Fire Department Station project, the county is about 25% of the total project, and there are multiple jurisdictions that have funded dollars into that project, as well as privately raised fundraiser, as mentioned earlier during the comments. The last point I think is important for the committee to realize. We've been working with Councilman Tuma on the Parma project for probably going now in 14 months since our first meeting was, so this isn't something that just happened. And we've been working with Councilman Schron on the fire station project. I think we first discussed it in September, so going over 6 months now. And we've had multiple meetings, multiple discussions with the council president, multiple discussions with the county land bank for the city of Parma. And important for the committee to note, if approved, the county land bank is going to fully fund the project, and we will give it on a reimbursement basis. That will help speed up the project, so the clubhouse is demoed in time for the golf season to start. And they can do things obviously a lot faster than we can, as the chairwoman remembers. So I think Jim Boyle was going to talk briefly about the projects more, and then we can entertain any questions if that's okay with you, Madam Chairwoman.
Good morning, Jim Boyle, council staff. I won't belabor it because I know you've heard from both the representatives from both the projects. But there is something that I think is important on both projects, which is the community involvement piece. And the community involved in the Chagrin Falls Fire Project, they've been raising funds, significant funds on their own for several years. And I think that shows the level of dedication and commitment to this project. And I know Councilman Schron as well has been actively looking for collaboration and community involvement. All of the individual communities involved in the district or the region that supports this fire department have passed legislation in support of this project. And I think that this is something that is extremely important for the community. One of the things when I initially talked to Councilman Schron about this project, and I think the representatives of Chagrin Falls can back this up, it's a very tight area geographically. And so it's more, they just can't simply just build a new fire department somewhere else. The costs of land acquisition, et cetera, would be difficult. It's right there in the Chagrin Falls Town Center. And so it is an important project. Looking at the Parma project, I think you can gauge the level of importance in this matter by the representatives here from Parma. Tim DeGeeter wore a tie. I haven't seen him wear a tie in probably, I don't know, it's been since he last appeared in court, probably. And I am familiar with this golf course. I've seen every bush, every tree, every neighboring backyard with the 10 times that I've played golf out there. It's a beautiful golf course. And quite frankly, the involvement from the city of Parma, not just in terms of the creative funding, looking at the land bank, going to the land bank. We've been on calls with Councilman Tuma, with Gus Frangos from the land bank, as well as their staff, to look at how they can work about getting this demolished in a safe and efficient process that allows them to still operate the golf course, has been really innovative and in my mind, really a representative of what good collaborative government is. Additionally, I know Law Director Dobek may have mentioned this, but the city of Parma set up their own committee to discuss what to do with this. They've been looking at this issue longer, I think, than Councilman Tuma and council staff has been dealing with this. And that, I think, certainly recognizes the level of importance this project is to that community as well. Again, on behalf of council staff, thank you. I won't belabor it. I know you've heard from the representatives more so than the council staff.
Thank you.
Madam Chair.
Thank you. Are there any questions from our staff by members of council?
Madam Clerk, Madam Chairwoman, I'm looking at them. Madam Chair, I just want to commend my colleague, Mr. Schron, with respect to dealing with multiple communities. I know how difficult that can be to bring everybody in a collaborative manner. And obviously, I spoke to the importance of the Parma project. I view the Chagrin Valley project also as a very important community project with respect to its safety forces out there, and I fully support that project as well. Thank you.
Mr. Schron?
And I will just echo just in the reverse, because I think that this is an example of exactly what we had hoped to do with the casino revenue funds when we put them aside. So thank you, Mr. President, for recognizing both of these projects in your leadership, because they are both community projects. They're not individual projects. Not that an individual project can't stand on its own, but clearly when you've got the community involvement, and we heard 3 communities are going to be supporting the golf course. I probably, if I was playing the course, my ball would probably end up in all 3 of those communities at some point on my drive, if you've seen me hit the ball. So I'm just thrilled about that, and happy to support both these projects, and I think that they will leave a lasting legacy. And what's nice is that they heard it loud and clear. Council President Grubb heard that they need to have the support from each one of these communities to step up and write a check, and they all did. And the community wrote a check as individuals, and now the county is the last piece of it. So thank you very much, and I would encourage everybody to support both these.
Mr. President?
Thank you. I just want to take a moment to say I'm very happy to support this project, both of these projects. There's something, to me, something special about these in the sense that they're community development projects, our opportunity to partner with our cities. This is one of the things that's very special to me when we see these, and I just want to commend both of our colleagues here, because it takes time and our colleagues to know the needs of the community, to engage, do the hard work that is taken, that they have done. Even our colleague Sonny Simon in years past with the projects she's done through community development, and all of our colleagues. So again, these are excellent projects that we can be proud of, and just a great opportunity to further partner with our cities. So again, I will certainly be in full support of these projects.
I'll take a point of privilege at this point as well to talk about the fact that as a body, having served on a municipal council, the camaraderie and the willingness of my colleagues on this body to work jointly to try and take care of things, to pull in county-related agencies like the County Land Bank to help get things done, is a cornerstone of why we feel very successful to other folks. They don't think we disagree enough, but we know that we disagree with each other. We're just very polite with our disagreements, but we do join together for the benefit of the constituents across this county, because all 11 of us do believe that it is our job to take care of folks jointly. So thanks, staff, for doing the due diligence on the hard work. I'm sorry, I forgot to look to my right.
That's okay. I just want to say
Councilwoman Baker.
thank you, and thanks for you filled the holes there that I had questions on, so I appreciate it. Sorry, I jumped ahead. I didn't realize you were giving that presentation. Yeah. Thank
Madam
you.
Clerk, would you refresh my memory? Did we do a motion?
On the proposed substitute, we have not voted on the resolution as substituted.
We have.
Madam Chair,
Yes,
to the left.
thank you. My other right.
Yes, I served on a municipal council for years and understand, the struggles of communities to try to take care of their own. And I fully support both of these projects and really am happy we have this fund available. It really is exponential help. It's more than, it really is important. So I'd like my name added to both of these, or this one, for both projects.
Okay. Madam Clerk, if you would recognize Ms. Simons and add Ms. Simons' name to it. Is anyone else would like to add their name?
I'll add my name, thank you.
I think I was already on it, so
Okay.
if you're looking for a motion, I move that we vote this out of the committee for second reading before the full council.
I'll second that.
I presumed you would. All in favor of this, recognize it by an aye, please.
Aye.
Aye.
If there are no nays, this resolution passes with 100% of this support, and will now move forward to the full body of council. Did we need to expedite this? Does it need 3 readings, or
The Chagrin Falls does not need it, I don't believe.
what about?
If we could, that'd be very much appreciated. I know the city is up against time with respect to the season
Yeah,
starting.
and right now the ground is frozen, but as soon as it thaws, you can begin your demolition work, which would allow them to expedite the project.
Okay, I will amend my motion to move it for second reading approval, suspend the rules.
Thank you.
I second that.
And does every member of council agree to that change?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Folks, you have your legislation moved to the full body in an expedited manner. Is there anything else before council today? No miscellaneous business? At this moment, then, we will move to an adjournment. Thank you.